Have you ever taken a second to just really breathe and sit down with your emotions? Do you ever get such a high intensity of emotions, right? And you don't know what to do with it, whether it be anger or sadness, grief, depression. And you don't know what to do with it. You feel like you're losing control of yourself. It's like another avatar took control of your body, right? Well, if you have, right, have you noticed how the emotions just kind of like flow through you, just like wind? They flow through you. If you can really sit down and acknowledge the emotion that you're feeling, sit down for a little bit. It'll flow right through you, right? Because that's what emotions are. They're temporary. They're just temporary states of being. And all things temporary come to an end, right? I haven't really done that, all right, most of my life. A lot of the time I'll get like this really extreme bout of any particular emotion, right, to the point where it really consumes, how I'm feeling or what I'm doing at that current point in time. It's like it doesn't occur to me that these feelings are temporary, and that if I were to just sit down for a minute, 2 minutes, really sit down and breathe and focus on what it is that I'm feeling, it'll all pass through you. Any point in your life where you feel really strongly towards something, or something really bad happens, right? Any point in the past where you felt such a strong emotion, how has that affected you, right? Think about how that's affected you, right? Maybe you weren't in your right mind. Maybe you said something you shouldn't have, right? Or maybe you just maybe disassociated, right? And you isolated yourself, right? Well, think about where you are right now, right? Think about where you are right now watching this, right? And you realize how those things were all in the past. They were all temporary, those emotions, right? Because that's all it is. It's just temporary. When you are in a situation, like a really extreme situation, at the time, it's going to feel like that's all it is, right? It's going to feel like that's all it is, It's going to feel like it's going to take control of your life, and that things are just never going to be, things are never going to be anything else other than this current emotion that I'm feeling, right? I know I felt that way. That's how I felt growing up. I felt like I was never going to be in a situation where I was going to be truly happy, because it's just the situation with my what was going on with my parents, right? Or sometimes even rather recently, when something traumatic or really, really emotionally exhausting would happen, I would just get into these really strong phases of depression, right? But now I'm standing here now, and those things don't affect me nearly as strongly as they have, right? Because it's all temporary. They all just flowed right past me, right through me, and that's all it was. That's all it's going to be, just a phase, right? Just a little temporary feeling where things just go right through you, right? You think about the air. You think about the air, right? The air just keeps on going. You think about, have you ever seen those people who get a really who get an idea and they see the light passing through their head? That's really what an emotion is. It just passes through, and it's all temporary, man. It's all temporary. I say all this, right? I'm really enforcing the idea that it's temporary to show that this does not define who you are in any given moment. Whew. Sorry about that. Something happened. But yeah, I'm really enforcing the idea that it's temporary because everything just passes through you, right? It doesn't define who you are in any given moment. You know, it might feel like it does, like, oh, I'll only feel this way, or I'll only feel that way, or oh, this event is going to have such a drastic effect on my everyday mental, right? I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to, right? Things do get better. Things will get better if you put in the work if you put in the effort to really, first of all, acknowledge what it is that's going on. Like, acknowledge that this thing happened to me, right? This thing happened to me and I feel this way, right? Because here's the thing with emotions. You shouldn't disregard them. Don't disregard them and say like, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. No. Feel how it is that you feel about whatever is going on, right? Whether you're going through some relationship issues, whether something is going on wrong with something you're trying to do, right? Or you're going through a lot of obstacles that you didn't think you were going to face, you know, trauma, whatever it is that is currently on your mind, you know, feel the emotions, right? But that's it. Just feel them and let them pass. Because at the end of the day, time still keeps going, you know, time still keeps going. You know, and things get better, right? Now, I also feel that, you know, you do need to make like an effort to change what it is that is causing you to feel this way, because most of the time it might not just be one thing, right? It could be a combination of things that you just aren't even realizing is affecting you to the degree that it is, right? You know, whether it's like the way that you're living, right? Your lifestyle, you know, maybe it's the environment that you're in, right? Multiple things usually affect to a greater degree what it is that you're feeling, you know. So just take some time to really analyze what it is that's going on. Really take some time. Back again. Just putting my phone away just for the time being, but I don't even know what I was saying. I got distracted by what was going on around me. But I'm gonna go just back to my own life, just reflecting back on myself. You know, I feel emotions pretty strongly. I've always have, right? But I realize just how much of a toll that certain emotions have taken on me, and you know, I'm choosing not to let them affect me as much. I'm choosing to be different. I'm choosing to do things that better my state of being, right? And as a result of a lot of these choices, right? You know, going out in the sun, for example, going out in the sun, you know, exercising more consistently, you know, doing things for my brain, you know, and engaging in activities that really suit me well. I just realized how much, like, I've let such drastic emotions take effect on me when I really should just let them pass, right? I should just let them pass, and that's all it would have been. That is all it would have been, you know. Right now, you know, I still, like I've said earlier, I still get really strong periods of just, like, wanting to sit down and not really wanting to do anything. Or maybe I just, like, sometimes some certain things, like, really make me frustrated to a higher degree than it should. But at the end of the day, you know, it's all gonna pass through anyways, right? If you hold in anything, it's always gonna bottle up. So just let it pass, right? And that applies to everything, no matter what it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end this around here. I think I'm reaching a conclusion to my walk. If you're seeing this, I love you. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure to take care of yourself and those around you, because the only person who can take care of you is you. And always remember, the emotions don't define who you are. Just let them pass through. Everything works itself out. Have a good one.